Good morning, everyone. How you're doing? Hope you're doing well, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing fine. Hope everyone's doing blessed on this Saturday morning, guys. The weekend is here. It is match day, and we've got nothing but to be positive. Look, I'm a little bit low. Let me just. There we go. That's better. Look, we got good things to look forward to today. Manchester United are playing at Old Trafford against Tottenham Hotspur today, which is a crucial game in the top four fight, guys. Of course, we're right in the mix at the moment, and as long as Manchester United can keep winning, we're going to stay there, guys. In fact, we might even move up that table. We might even get into the second place. And who knows where fate will bring us, guys. You know what? Winning football matches, you know what winning football matches does, doesn't it? It just creates magic moments, doesn't it? So you never know what can happen. Just as long as we keep winning those football matches, that's all that matters, and that's how we can only give ourselves a chance, in regards to the Premier League and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we're going to go out there and win the Premier League. Of course I'm not. It's not in the realms of impossibility. I do believe you should always aim high, of course, and nothing is impossible till it's mathematically impossible, of course, guys. But what I would say is that Man United need to take it game by game. We keep winning our games, and then we can't control what happens elsewhere in the Premier League. We can't do that, of course. But one thing we can do is win our game, and that starts today with Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Tottenham Hotspur, of course, guys, it's a team that really irritates me. They really do. They're the type of team that irritate me. They're the type of team that Sir Alex Ferguson called out in the 90s. You remember Leeds United? You remember Leeds United when Sir Alex Ferguson questioned Leeds United about how they play against Newcastle when Newcastle were challenging for the league, and Alex Ferguson felt that Leeds United down-tooled against Newcastle, and they played better against Manchester United. Well, he had a point back then. Do you know what I mean? I do believe that Tottenham are one of those teams. Tottenham are one of those teams. They will come to Old Trafford. They'll play absolutely phenomenally. You think, where have they been all season? Just like they did against Manchester City. This is what they're going to do. And a little bit like Leeds. You see Leeds United, guys. Leeds United won 3-1 against Nottingham Forest last night, right? You see those sort of teams like Leeds who went on performed like a bunch of wimps against Arsenal last week, wasn't it? They were absolutely pathetic against Arsenal, in my opinion, right? And then they go and beat Nottingham Forest. They beat the teams that they're supposed to beat and stuff like that. And then they perform badly against the teams that they're supposed to beat. So Tottenham are one of those teams. Tottenham are one of those teams, but in the opposite way. They are play against Man United, play against Man City, but down tool against their biggest rivals, Arsenal, and look like an absolute useless team against Arsenal, and that's what they do. So it's up to us, though, to change that narrative. We have not beaten Tottenham in 8 games. Guys, that is too much. It's embarrassing, to be honest, even just talking about it. We have not beaten Tottenham in 8 games. 2022-23 season was the last time we defeated Tottenham. I believe it was 2-0. And we need to get that back. We need to win this game today. Look, because guys, look, we've passed every single test under Michael Carrick so far, which was obviously the hard games, the Arsenals, the Man Cities, the low block, which is the Fulham. I don't think Fulham played necessarily low block, but is one of those teams that we would have struggled in the past. And now Tottenham, who have been our bogey team in the last, year or so, 2 years ago, especially since the Europa League final, of course. But guys, let me just get into some news surrounding Manchester United. Of course, you may have heard Manchester United have inquired about the possibility of signing Anthony Gordon from Newcastle United. The 24-year-old England winger has been admired by Manchester United for a while now. And Manchester United feel that they can persuade the England international to sign for Manchester United. Now, Anthony Gordon is a traditional winger for me, an attacking player. And again, I would reiterify that I don't think Anthony Gordon is the type of player that Manchester United really need right now. I think the midfield is the place that Man United need to concentrate on. Considering we got Cunha and we got obviously Dorgu, who can play in those positions as well. I don't believe that Anthony Gordon would be a smart move right now. Anthony Gordon is a fabulous player. Of course, I'm not saying that, but I don't think it'd be a smart move. According to Ben Jacobs, has said that Manchester United are Newcastle United winger Anthony Gordon. Jacobs said, and Gordon's ability to play a number 9 as well as a winger is very appealing to Manchester United. Manchester United have a strong interest in Anthony Gordon as a potential option, particularly as the player is keen on the opportunity to play playing time centrally as a number 9. Now, guys, this is very, very important in regards to this statement here. Anthony Gordon, for me, is a winger. I don't want to know about Anthony Gordon as a number 9. I'm not interested. He doesn't have the physique. He doesn't have the prowesses to play that number 9 position, in my opinion. I don't think he's a striker. Absolutely not a number 9. So this already sounds alarm bells to me. If I was going to sign, Man United were going to sign Anthony Gordon, it will be for the left of midfield and playing on that wing. Maybe he'd be perfect, by the way, in a 4-4-2, but we don't play a 4-4-2. But he'd be perfect for that left, even if it is a 4-2-3-1. It would be perfect for that. I don't think Anthony Gordon is that guy who's going to be playing up front as a number 9. I just don't look at Anthony Gordon and think number 9, he's a number 9. You think about number 9s, you think about Mark Viduka, you think about people like that. Do you know what I mean? You think about Andy Cole. He's not a number 9. He's not a striker. And I know that there are a lot of players out there, including Marcus Rashford and players like that, who think they are a number 9, but they have not. They ain't got the ability. They ain't got the strength. They can't hold up the ball. They can't bring other players into play. They can't finish as well as those players that I've mentioned, of course, guys. But Anthony Gordon is an interesting one. And Manchester United being linked to him is very, very interesting, because Newcastle United may be interested in selling Anthony Gordon. And this is obviously interesting as well. Why would they be interested in selling Anthony Gordon, especially to Manchester United? For me, I don't think this will ever happen. I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Manchester United will sign Anthony Gordon. As much as Man United would be interested in Anthony Gordon, I think it's hearsay, and I think it will cost way too much money for a position that we don't really need in reality. Because when we're looking at it, Anthony Gordon, a winger, he wants to play number 9. We don't want no more makeshift players. We don't want players shoehorned into positions that they're not good at the end of the day. If we're going to get a striker, we get a proper number 9. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't just sign a player because we like them, and then we put them in the wrong position. That's not what we do. We've done that for many, many years, and we got to refrain from doing this. But Manchester United are interested in signing England international Anthony Gordon, the 24-year-old England player, of course, currently playing for Newcastle United, has said to say that he wants to play a central role now. He wants to play in a number 9 position. He doesn't want to play as a winger anymore. So obviously this has alerted Manchester United, of course, because Manchester United are huge admirers of Anthony Gordon. But I would say that there is a red flag here straight away, because Anthony Gordon wants to play the number 9 position, which I don't think Manchester United should be doing, especially for the price that Anthony Gordon is valued at. I don't think Man United should be signing a player like Anthony Gordon if he's going to play a number 9. Because for me, Anthony Gordon is a traditional left winger for me. That's just how I feel about that. I think he's actually an old school winger, and he fits that mold perfectly. It's a little bit like saying, let's play Ryan Giggs as a forward. Do you know what I mean? He could do a job. Definitely, probably could do it better than Anthony Gordon. He would do it better than Anthony Gordon. But what I would say is that it's not his favoured position. And I don't think Man United should be bringing in a player like Gordon who wants to play as a number 9. That's very, very important here. Anthony Gordon is a tremendously talented player, of course, but we should not be going down that road again. We should sign players that we need for the positions that we need in the positions that they play. Not just bring in players because we like the player, and even if he wants to play the position that, is not his favourite position. We did that with Sancho. We've done that with a lot of players, and Mata and players like that in the past. So Man United do need to move on from that kind of thing. Absolutely. Let me know how you feel about that, guys. How you feeling about Anthony Gordon? Of course, the news has been spreading around over this last 24 hours. I did mention Anthony Gordon about a few weeks ago in regards to coming to Manchester United, but obviously I didn't know the nooks and crannies about the deal in regards to where he wants to play. And one of the reasons he wants to leave Newcastle is because he wants to play in a certain position. So that is very, very important, of course, guys, as well. And we obviously we ain't got a load of money, because obviously we're owned by Ineos and the Glazers, and they're stingy. So we ain't got a load of money to spend. So we got to spend the money very, very wisely. Now, a player that I mentioned on the channel before, away from Anthony Gordon, I've mentioned him months ago, but it has re-elevated this news. Now, Kennet Eithorn. Kennet Eithorn is a German player at the age of 16 years old. He's making waves at Hertha BSC, of course, Hertha Berlin. Guys, he's a central defensive midfielder. Now, I mentioned him, it was about a few months ago now, I mentioned Eithorn. And this player is scouted by numerous amounts of clubs around Europe. Now, again, I would like to point out the Bundesliga, right? I would like to point out the Bundesliga. And I want to congratulate the Bundesliga, by the way, because of the Bundesliga, they're bringing through so many talented players at the moment, and you have to give them credit for what they're doing. They're absolutely brilliant and bringing through players now. Now, according to Bild, Manchester United is interested in signing Kennet, the captain of Germany under-17s team. The report also states that Manchester United is one of the top clubs interested in the player, and that scouts from top clubs watch Eithorn nearly every game. And those scouts range from Chelsea, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid. All of them are looking at Eithorn. Now, Eithorn's only 16 years old, we know. But it doesn't mean that he's not got the potential to be a generational player who can come into Manchester United and one day become an absolute brilliant player. He's valued about £11 million, guys, 12 million euros, excuse me. Sorry, 10 to 12 million euros. He's valued about 10 to 12 million euros. So it's not going to break the bank. If he's got the talent, if he's got the ability, I would say go and get that player. Go and get him, because at the end of the day, you know what, he'll be 17 soon, and you know what, we need more central midfielders. However, if we're going to sign a player like Kennet Eithorn, I would say that we need to obviously bring in experience as well. We can't just sign Eithorn and expect him to go straight into this team. I'm not going to flip-flop from this. I'm not going to change my opinion in regards to what I spoke about yesterday about Roscoe coming to Manchester United. Of course, the players already signed for Man United will sign for Man United in July. I don't think Orozco is going to walk straight into the team. I don't. I think he's going to be in the youth team. We might even loan him out. We know what's happened with Sekou Kone. We know about what's happened with Chido Obi Martin as well, amongst others, Diego Leon, of course. So we know that these players will come into the club and won't get first-team football straight away, and they will be loaned out eventually. Kennet Eithorn, the good thing about Kennet Eithorn, he's starting to get first-team football. He's starting to get, opportunities. And this obviously shows the ability of Eithorn. And Man United have more than once been linked to Eithorn. So I'm bringing it back. Man United are interested in this player. Look, I would say that it might be a little bit early for Eithorn, 16 years old, 17 years old. He can't sign for Man United yet anyway. But it might be a little bit early for him for Manchester United. He's 17, I believe, in the summer. I think he can sign then. Wouldn't mind signing Eithorn and loaning him back to Hertha BSC, Hertha Berlin. I wouldn't mind loaning him back there. So we sign Eithorn and loan him back to Hertha Berlin to get him that first-team football for a year or so. So I don't think that Eithorn would walk straight into the team, in my humblest of opinions, guys. I really don't think that. And I think that he will come in. We could sign him, then loan him back out to Germany, and then obviously let him develop there. That will be a smart move for Man United to do. Not going to break the bank, 10 to 12 million euros. I think that will be not a bad move if you ask me. Now, it has been nearly a year since we've been linked to these players. And PSG have also been said to be linked to him. Barcelona, Liverpool have also been linked with the player. And have all scouted this player intensively. And if he's that good, if he is that generational player that we predict he may be, then, you know what, go and get him secured, get a contract with him, and obviously loan him back out. It doesn't mean that we have to play him straight away because he's 16 years old. But then again, he may be ready. He might be the Rooney of central midfield. You know what I mean? You never know, of course, guys. But those are the couple of transfer news that are circulating at the moment. One other player I wanted to talk to you about, guys, which Man United are scouting, because I'm bringing you all the players that Man United is scouting at the moment, is a gentleman named Nfasa Burkimas. Nfasa Burkimas is a player that plays for Charlotte. Charlotte FC in America, of course. According to Sports Boom, Charlotte FC's Nfasa Burkimas is a player of interest to Manchester United. It is said that Manchester United is attempting to sign Burkimas and convince him to move to Old Trafford. Scouts have reportedly noted Burkimas' explosive acceleration and top-end speed, attributes which often make it difficult for veteran MLS defenders to defend against him. Now, what do I think about this player? Nfasa Burkimas, 17 years old, left winger. Another left winger, by the way, that Man United are going for, right? It's obviously that we're looking at that area. Yeah, look, 17 years old. He's got the talent, of course, but coming from the MLS is a little bit different. Who remembers? I'm not gonna paint everyone with the same brush, but you remember Freddie Adu, who came from America, who was rated as this huge prospect, and everyone wanted him around Europe, but didn't quite materialize for him. Didn't really work out for him. Nfasa Burkimas is a player that Man United have scouted intensively. I know that anyway, but we are scouting a number of players. We are looking in America as well. We are looking in North America side of things. I'm surprised we're not looking more potently in South America at the moment. But Nfasa Burkimas is another player, 17 years old, left winger. Man United are scouting at the moment. So just to give you an idea of the caliber of players that Man United is scouting at the moment. Not to say we will get them. I'm not saying that, but at the end of the day, it does give you an idea and a clearer picture the kind of players Man United are looking for in regards to positions, in regards to ability. Man United are looking for pace. They're looking for athleticism, because as you know, in regards to the Premier League, you do need athleticism in the league these days, especially. What is interesting about this report is that MLS defenders find it hard to defend against them because of the age of the MLS defenders. Now, obviously, MLS has got a history of bringing in players. We remember George Best and players like that from back in the day. MLS has got a history of bringing in players on the other side of their career, on their twilight years, so to speak. So obviously, any player with a little bit of pace is going to shine against aging MLS defenders, if you know what I mean. So this is something to keep in mind as well in regards to ability. It could be just a pace thing, as well. And we're looking at Nfasa Burkimas. I'm not saying that he is a pace merchant, but obviously in the MLS it's very hard to identify real talent because obviously the players that are in that league, they're not of the certain level, if you know what I mean. As with every player, guys who come from like the MLS and things like that, sometimes we bring them to England to train with the team, to give them a trial, and you never know and see how they do against Premier League players. But again, Nfasa Burkimas, Stretford Post exclusive, interested to Manchester United, of course. One more player Man United are looking at, guys, but I want to talk about this one player. But we know all about Yan Diomande. Yan Diomande is now interested, obtaining the interest of the likes of Real Madrid and stuff like that. Obviously, Yan Diomande, the left winger, 19 years old, again left winger, of course, valued at 100 million euros. Of course, a little bit too pricey for Manchester United. And of course, the biggest thing about Yan Diomande was the fact that he sacrificed himself to Liverpool for some reason. I mean, who does that at the end of the day? Yeah, he put himself forward for the Liverpool transfer. And I'm not going to hold that against him. Of course I'm not. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer famously was a Liverpool fan growing up. So at the end of the day, football doesn't work like that. You bring in a player and it's just as long as he gives his all for the club, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But Man United are heavily interested in Yan Diomande. Who do I think Yan Diomande was signed for? Yeah. I really, really, guys, as much as I like Yan Diomande, I can't see him signing for Man United. I can't. I really do hope passionately that Man United are concentrating and focusing primarily on that midfield central there. It would be great if we can concentrate on loads of things at the same time, but we know how our board acts, don't they? We know how they are in regards to not doing two deals at once. We're very one deal focused. Remember, we were signing Bremo in the summer and Ugarte the summer before. And we were like, concentrating and focusing on one player and then fighting for that player, taking 2 months to sign that player, and then we run out of time. I think that Man United will be focusing, and at least I hope they're focusing on that midfield before they do anything else. We need 2-3 midfielders in there, guys. Even 2's not enough. We need 2-3 midfielders in there because especially now, which it looks likely, guys, let's be real, guys. It looks likely that Man United are going to qualify for the Champions League, which is a fabulous achievement. You know what I mean? Considering all the negativity that's occurred this season. If we do qualify for the Champions League, we're going to need a very hefty squad because our squad literally is a 1 game a week squad. And even then, we're struggling. We got a 1 game a week squad. Now, Yan Diomande would be a fabulous signing for Manchester United. Of course, it would be a great signing for Man United. Of course, the Red Bull group, Vivel and all that. He plays for Leipzig. So it is a possibility. For one, I just can't imagine him playing for Man United right now. I just can't see him playing for Man United. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that it's just not the sort of signing Man United do. And he's incredibly talented, but I just don't think like it's like the sort of signing that Man United would do. It's the sort of signing that a Man City would do, for example, a Barcelona would do. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. However, I would love to be proven wrong and I would love them to change the narrative just after we fix that midfield, because we fix that midfield, be absolutely brilliant. We'll be absolutely, because I don't actually think Man United are as far away as people think. We're not. We're a couple of midfielders, a couple of fullbacks, maybe a backup defender, a backup striker away from challenging, in my opinion, because we've shown what we can do in isolated moments in regards to football. We've shown it against Arsenal, against Man City. You know, we showed it in times against Fulham. Every game is not going to be the same. Obviously, the Premier League is difficult. Every single team has class players. Now, Nathaniel Brown, of course, who plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, the left wing back, who has been on Man United's radar for a while, scored a goal yesterday, a brilliant goal. And this player, Nathaniel Brown, is a player that Man United should be looking at in regards to that left side. Absolutely brilliant player. He's the sort of player that I would look at and think, yeah, this guy is the player performing at a very high level at the moment. Very high level. With the links to the likes of Ndai, Rodgers, of course, Gordon and Diamande, you can see the type of players that Man United are linked to. And it is very, very interesting. Very interesting. But again, the same names keep propping up, keep coming into the news. For example, Murillo, the defender from Nottingham Forest. Manchester United have shown a keen interest in Murillo, in particular if Man United lose Harry Maguire. He has come to the fore again. Man United are rumoured to be very interested in this player. Now, a little bit about one more winger. Let me just talk about Iliman Ndiaye. Iliman Ndiaye, of course, Man United admire heavily in regards to Everton. He's a good player for me. I watched him in the AFCON. Very good player. He would represent a contingency plan for what Man United are going for, their top targets, of course. The good thing about Ndiaye is that he has Premier League experience and he's done fabulously well over the year or so that he's been playing for Everton, of course, guys. But away from transfers into Manchester United, Leny Yoro. Apparently, Real Madrid have come in for Leny Yoro again. If we remember, Leny Yoro was wanted by Real Madrid before he signed for Manchester United. Now, apparently, Real Madrid are still interested in Leny Yoro and are preparing a summer bid for the Manchester United defender. You know, at the end of the day, I would not even entertain any offers for Leny Yoro. I think Leny Yoro is going to be a fabulous defender for Man United. I think he's going to be a brilliant defender for Man United. Man United are in no position right now to sell any of our star names. Absolutely not. No position to sell anyone. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know? But you never know, guys. You never know. With Manchester United, will they cash in on one of their prize defenders? Who knows, guys? Absolutely. Who knows? But guys, I want to say thank you to the community for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, everyone. Big up everyone in the stream, of course, guys. Big up everyone who's here today, of course. Big up all the legends. Let me just say thank you to Kenny. Been a member for 4 months. Big up yourself. Big up, Kenny. Much love to you, brother. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Absolutely. Big up Sanjay. Big up Sanjay in the house. Roll to the Champions League. Absolutely. Big up Benny as well. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, Tyberg, the legend. What's going on, my friend? Good morning, Sal. We need to win today. Very much, but it's going to end 2-0 United. So chill, guys. There you go, Tyberg. I hope so. Tyberg, I hope we got that same vibe about 60-odd minutes in the game. I hope we got that same vibe. That'd be absolutely good because we want a peaceful day today. We want peace, don't we? Peace, nothing but peace. Absolutely. Big up, Gregory. What's going on, my friend? Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Kenny, yeah, Leeds Scum are staying up, unfortunately. Yeah, they're staying up. I didn't like the way they played against. They wasted 1 hour and a half, 2 hours of my life last week. Leeds, playing the way they played. Absolute pathetic performance against Arsenal. I cannot believe how poor they were. I honestly couldn't believe the standard of Leeds United. It was so poor. I couldn't believe it. Absolutely. Big up, Gregory. Tybo, no problem. Got you, man. I got you. And thank you, Gregory, for becoming a member. You're absolute legend. Thank you so much for being a member of Stretford Post. Lots of great content coming for the members, of course, coming up very, very soon, guys. Interviews. I'm going to be out and about as well, doing lots of different things as well for the members coming very, very soon, guys. Watch this space. Thank you, Gregory, for becoming a member. You're absolute legend. Thank you so much. And I've got big up, Sal. Big up yourself. Big up. Tybo, in my opinion, is a very good player, but why would we buy a winger? See what I mean? This is the thing, Tybo, exactly what I'm talking about. But the problem is that he doesn't want to play as a winger. The reason that Anthony Gordon might leave Newcastle United is purely because of the fact that he wants to play as a number 9. Now, if Manchester United were willing to sign a player like Anthony Gordon, is going to cost, 80 upwards million? right, and put him in the number 9 position, I think that would be absolutely ridiculous. I think it'd be typical of Ineos, by the way, but I think it'd be absolutely ridiculous if we did that because he is primarily a winger. And I agree with Tybog here. We don't need a winger right now. We got Dorgu who could play there. We got Cunha who could play there. All right, it's great to have options in the midfield, but why are we not looking at that right wing? Because who else we got on the right wing, guys? We got Mbremo and Armat can play there. Of course we have, but other than that, we ain't got nobody. We need an extra striker, probably. Yes, we need a striker up there. We've only got Sesko, who's a goal scorer, generally. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But yeah, look, I don't see why Man United be looking at. I think Man United need to put all their eggs in the midfield basket at the moment, and obviously the fullback positions as well. I mean, obviously, we may lose Luke Shaw at the end of the season. We'll lose. I don't know if we lose, might win. Okay, Luke Shaw at the end of the season, and maybe Dalot be sold. I don't know, but I do think we need to be looking at other positions in the pitch before be looking at wingers. Absolutely. I think we're stacked in that position. And let's not forget, we got the likes of Shea Lacey coming through the ranks as well. You know what I mean? So we still got to give them opportunities as well. A big fancy membership to Sal's channel. Big up, my friend. I really appreciate you, Gregory. You're absolute legend. And thank you so much to everyone in the stream, guys. You're absolute diamonds. Very good community. Great community here. I love it. And thank you, everyone, guys. Really appreciate you. Gordon doesn't look like the winger we need. He's not in the level we need. I think he's a good winger. I think he's good. I think he's an old school winger. However, it's just not what we need at the moment. I agree that we don't need him. I think he's a very good player. I don't think we need him. I agree. I don't think we need Anthony Gordon right now. Look, you know, these type of signings are signings that you sign after you fix the problems in the football team first. Now, what concerns me the most about Ineos and the Glazers is that we are earmarking players that we don't necessarily need, like Yan Diomande, Anthony Gordon. We don't really need them. Obviously, guys, if we said, can we have Anthony Gordon and can we have Yan Diomande, everyone's going to say, yeah, take it. But we need to look at things objectively and look at things from the point of view of a mature way, that what do Manchester United need? And man, we obviously need midfielders. We obviously need fullbacks. You know, we probably need another striker. You know, at the end of the day, we've got Cunha, we've got Mbremo, we've got Fernandes, we've got Shea Lacey. You know, I mean, unless Ahmad as well, unless one of them is leaving, and Man United are looking at replacing them early, that could be a thing. Now, obviously, there's a lot of talk about Bruno Fernandes, of course, and is he going to leave at the end of the season? Is he finally going to leave Man United? And that one is up in the air. My opinion is this. I think Bruno Fernandes will leave if Man United don't qualify for the Champions League. I think Bruno Fernandes will stay if Manchester United qualify for the Champions League. That's how I feel about it. I think that's what's going to happen. I do believe that he will stay if United get in the Champions League, which looks likely at the moment as we stand. Of course, welcome to the family. Big up Gregory, big up Tyborg, of course, the legends in the house. Absolutely. Big up everyone. Kenny, I think Nottingham Forest could get relegated. Do you think we'll get Anderson on chip? Yes, Kenny. This is one of the things that why Nottingham Forest, look, guys, what I would do right now, because if Nottingham Forest get relegated, yes, Anderson's price tag is going to reduce significantly, as is Murillo's as well. It's going to reduce significantly because they're going to lose the Premier League money and they're going to have to get the money quickly. I would say that Man United need to take advantage of this situation. They need to take advantage of this situation. I would have done the groundwork for Anderson already. I would have went in for Anderson and Murillo already and said, right, can we agree a fee? Like, you know what, you may get relegated, the price may drop. And it wouldn't be smart if you agree a deal with us now to get it done. Because if Nottingham Forest get relegated and Anderson's price drops, you know everyone and their mother is going to be interested in Anderson. You know it, everyone. Now, Anderson, obviously, the one thing I don't like, guys, is that I hear it a lot, is that people calling Anderson a generational. All right, maybe he is a generational, but then people not calling a Mainu a generation. That's what I don't like as well, because I do believe that Mainu is a generational. I think he will be. He'll be a great midfielder. He's only 20 years old. But in regards to Anderson, if his price tag does reduce, if not the Forest get relegated, which is natural, it will happen. I think Man United will have a battle in their hands to get him, because you know every single team is going to be interested in Anderson, of course, because of his ability. He's a very good player. Absolutely. There are better players out there than... I don't think it's about being better. I think he's a very good player for England, who England are top 2 in the world at the moment, and he plays regularly for England. He's a very good player. I don't think there are many players out there playing in the Premier League as a winger better than him, and the Premier League is the best league in the world, as much as people want to deny it, it is. Look at that Champions League group, for example, Tottenham in there qualifying. So I would say that Antony is a very good player. Whether he's good enough or not for Manchester United, I don't think it's the position that Man United need. And I keep the same energy with Yan Diomande. I keep that same energy. We do not need these type of players. It's as simple as that. If Man United need anything up front, it's another striker. And that's what I would say about it. Because I like Cunha. I think Cunha is his first season at the moment. I like him. I've already said Cunha is the type of player that we need in regards to his personality. I like Ahmad. I like Fernandes. I like these players. I like these three. I like Mbeumo. So I'm looking at it and thinking, this is a position that, especially if Bruno stays, this is a position that Man United don't really need right now. If Bruno leaves, then I'm looking at Kenan Yildiz. I'm looking at these type of players. You know what I mean? I'm looking at him rather than Anthony Gordon and stuff like that. Because if Bruno leaves, we need that creativity back, don't we? So I would say that type of player, in my opinion. If we are going to sign a Newcastle player, I'd go for Nick Woltermaid at 23 years old. Nick Woltermaid has been fabulous for Newcastle. Absolutely, Benny. Good shout. And this is the position that we need, isn't it? Very surprised at how well he's done, to be honest with you, because you look at his physique, he's huge, and you know what I mean, he's a very awkward player, but he's very good. What a finisher he is, absolutely. And I think that would be a brilliant signing for Manchester United. Absolutely. I would agree with Benny here. I would say that I would much rather Nick Woltermaid than Anthony Gordon, because Nick Woltermaid is what we need. We got Sesko, and obviously we believe in Sesko, and Sesko will come good. Sesko's a brilliant player. Sesko smashed it in the Bundesliga, right? He's never been prolific, but his all-round play is very, very good. But obviously we can't rely on one striker, and a Woltermaid is a player that I would welcome with open arms, because I think that this is the type of player that Man United need to be going in for, a Woltermaid. Absolutely good point, Benny. Good name to bring in. Obviously, he's just signed for Newcastle United this season, so obviously it'll be a ridiculous price again, isn't it? And obviously Newcastle, they're owned by who they're owned by, and they're going to obviously want top dollar for that type of player, of course. But yeah, it's a good name to throw out there. Absolutely. Sal, the Bundesliga must have a strong academies because the 50 bundle doesn't allow investors to finance unlimited. This is why the Bundesliga produces so many young talents today. I also believe, having known a couple of people who work around the Bundesliga, Tyborg, is that their scouting department is incredibly effective. They are out there all the time in Africa, in South America, and all different places around the world looking for the next big talent. And the key here is, Tyborg, is that they are given an opportunity to play. For example, if Sekou Kone, who plays for Man United, signed for Frankfurt, right? Your team. Let's say he will get more opportunity at Frankfurt than he would do at Man United. And then obviously once players get more and more opportunities, they become good players because they've already got the ability there, and then they'll become good players. The Bundesliga, the 50 plus one rule is brilliant. And I think that it does help a lot of things, the power to the fans. I think that this is exactly what the Premier League needs. I do believe that football clubs should be owned by the fans, because it's the fans who keep the football club going at the end of the day. If the fans left, it doesn't matter about the corporate suit guys. The club would decline. They need the fans. So every single club should be owned by the fans majority. And then the rest could be owned by the corporate billionaires and stuff like that. So I agree with that. I agree that it helps. And I think that every single club around Europe should adopt this model. Because obviously, as I said, the fans are the life and soul of the football club, in particular Manchester United. The life and soul of Manchester United is the fans. Manchester United were built on the working class. So the working class should own Manchester United. That is how it should be. It should not be some opportunist, vanity project, seat-searching billionaires that own this football club. Absolutely not. And it should be, definitely should be the fans that own it. And commendable to Germany. The one thing about Germany is that not only about the 50 plus one rule, I love the fans. I think they're energetic. I think they're loud. They're constantly singing, the fireworks, the flags. I think it's something to look at. And I think Man United and other teams around Europe could aspire to the Bundesliga because the way they bring in the atmosphere. They haven't lost the atmosphere. The atmosphere is still there. And when you watch a Bundesliga game and you watch it closely, like, the game goes so quickly. The game goes so quickly. You watch it and you think, well, where did this game go? Because it's exciting. And that's what it should be. It should be. I know that the Premier League's very, very talented, but the problem with the Premier League now is everyone is on an equal sort of talent. apart from the low teams, of course. But when you get into that top half, there's very little between. You can tell that from the league. You lose one game, you can go from third to sixth. There's very little there to maneuver in regards to the Premier League. And it does make it a little bit stale and boring, because both teams are level and cancelling each other out, if you know what I mean. However, Man United are the most entertaining team in the league. Man United are defeating this narrative in regards to by themselves. Man United are the only ones who come out with 4-4 draws, 3-2 wins, and things like that. Man United are the most entertaining teams. But in regards to the rest of the league, the level is very, very similar. I love the Bundesliga. I have to say it. I always have, ever since I was a young kid watching German football. It used to be on Channel 21 on Sky. We used to get it free back then. And I used to enjoy it. And long may it continue. And I think that a lot of countries and leagues can aspire to be like the Bundesliga. It's not necessarily all about success and things like that. We need to regain the soul of football. Which is obviously 50+1 and obviously a certain brand of football. I think the soul of football isn't very close to dying. Look, for example, I've been watching the Champions League, and I think the Champions League is the poorest it's ever been. I can't believe how poor the Champions League is at the end of the day. The thing with the Premier League physicality is on another level. This is why when you watch Frankfurt against Liverpool or something like that, you see a lot of set piece goals from Liverpool, Van Dijk and stuff like that, headers and from Liverpool and things like that, because the physicality side of thing in the Premier League is just on another level, and it's not a good thing, but because we're becoming like Stoke, every team's becoming like Stoke and stuff like that. But obviously, the Premier League is concentrating more on the physical side of things than the actual enjoyment of the game. Thanks, Arsenal. Thanks, Man City. Thanks, Chelsea, and all those teams who are boring us to death. So thanks, my friend. Yeah, Tonali is a midfielder, definitely. But we can get Embry. It'd be a good signing as well. So the Glazers want to spend 1.8 billion on a cricket club and nothing in Manchester United, despite a 1.29 billion debt at United. That sum, 1.8 billion, could fund a new stadium built. I don't want a new stadium, Greggy. I want to stay at Old Trafford. I don't care. I couldn't care less about the tent, and that's what I call it. I don't want to know about their stadium. I don't want it. I want to stay at Old Trafford. Refurbish Old Trafford like Real Madrid refurbished the Bernabeu in the middle of Madrid. If anyone's been to the Bernabeu, by the way, I've been there a number of times, guys. If anyone's been to the Bernabeu, I tell you what, Bernabeu's right next to a motorway, right, and a council estate, right, at the end of the day, right? Let me just say that. And it's a building with apartments and things like that. And they managed to build one of the best stadiums in the world. So why can't we refurbish Old Trafford? However, taking it back to your point, I wouldn't be surprised if they do this, Gregory, because that is exactly what Ineos are. They contradict themselves every single day. I told people about Jim Ratcliffe wanted to buy Chelsea. He had 4 billion to buy Chelsea. What happened to that 4 billion? Where did that 4 billion go? There you go. We know where it's going. It's going on his bloody cricket club. I do believe that what I've heard, that Jim Ratcliffe is a bigger cricket fan than he is a football fan. I'm not surprised by that, absolutely. But if he did that, Gregory, this, honestly, God, which is very likely, by the way, let the taxpayers pay for this new tent, right? If he did that would be absolutely disgraceful. And like I said, Manchester United fans, they don't care about that little "we want Glazers out," say "we want Glazers out." They don't care about that. They don't. It's great and it's commendable to the people that do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough to get them out. It's not enough to intimidate them. And we know what's going to intimidate them. Absolute frauds, a lot of them. Absolutely. Tonali is a very good player, Kenny, and would be a solid. It's what I mentioned last week, Gregory. I mentioned about Tonali. Man United have been interested in Tonali for a while. Absolutely. Has electric real pace. Which one, kiddo? This kid came on trials at Old Trafford in 2024. Which kid? I spoke about 5 players, goals for George. Gregory, yes, I heard some of the Glazers want to buy a cricket team, but I hope it's not India. Oh, goodness me. They will make a lot of money, Kenny, probably, in regards to cricket in India. Tybog, I'm going to be a bit late for my son's birthday party today because of the game. Big up, Tybog. Priorities, my friend. Priorities. Big up. Glazers learned that cricket prints money, so that they are going to mess up another fan base who love their club. Yeah, If they went to India and done cricket, they'll definitely get a lot of money from that. Yeah, they're in line for that. But, I don't know. I think their priority should be Man United, signing players for Man United. That's what I think they should be doing right now, not thinking about how to make money in 10 years. He reminds me of a Ronaldo, so much pace, but don't really know how to use that pace. In regards to Anthony Gordon, I agree with that. Yeah. We don't need a left-sided left winger. We have Lacey. I agree with Benny there. Absolutely agree with that. Lacey is still a couple of seasons away from playing full-time as his body develops, let's say. Big up, Eithorn. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Tybog, another sport that Glazers shouldn't be anywhere near. Couldn't they just stick to NFL, hot dogs and Coke? Exactly that. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want them to concentrate and focus primarily on Manchester United, what goes on the football pitch. That's what I want them to do. I want them to sign players. That's what I want them to do, not focusing on cricket and things like that. Focus on Manchester United. Focus on improving that squad. That 1 billion will fix Man United's squad, wouldn't it? So why don't they just fix Man United? Mank, born and bred, Man United fan. Oh my goodness me. He's as much as a Man United fan as Jamie Carragher. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Goodness me. He reminds me of a young Ronaldo at Man United, so much pace. I don't know who you're talking. I think you're either talking about Diamande, Gordon. I've mentioned a few players here, guys, or obviously the American player that I mentioned. Jack, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Hope you're blessed. As an Arsenal fan, after having seen your performance against us, I truly believe you can win the quad. I truly believe you can win the quadruple. You're being sarcastic, Jack. There's no need for that. No need for that, Jack. Absolutely. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you go back. No more, no more. Absolutely. Benny, seen him a few weeks back. Gregory, he's well put together now. Has a lot far off as people think. You know what it is in regards to young players? It's exactly, I want to bring in a quote from Alex Ferguson. If you do not play young players, they stifle and they drift away. You have to give them an opportunity. They will develop as they go along, but you have to give them an opportunity. If you keep putting their development back and putting it back in the queue, they won't develop. Absolutely. Absolutely. They have a chance. I don't think they're going to win a quadruple. Arsenal winning F4. Absolutely. Morning, Coco. How you doing? Big up yourself, guys. Luke Shaw could possibly win the Ballon d'Or, Jack. Okay, mate. Well, at least we have won the Ballon d'Or. Man United won the Ballon d'Or. When's the last time an Arsenal player won a Ballon d'Or, by the way? Wonder when that was. Ours is Ronaldo, 2008. There you go. Big up, Darren, of course. Absolutely. It would be sad to see Euro. He's not going anywhere. I'm just giving you the news. I don't think Lenny Euro is going anywhere. Absolutely not. Gregory, if Casemiro plays against Spurs today, then on West Ham game Tuesday, will likely result in Casemiro being injured. Casemiro plays 3 days apart. He'll be removed after 60 minutes, so he should be all right. Hopefully, we play the game against Tottenham today and we win the game early, Gregory, and then obviously bring him off after about 60 minutes. And my biggest fear, Gregory, is Ugarte. I just feel like Ugarte is not fitting in that Man United at all at the moment. I just don't think he's at that level. I worry about him. I do. And I think Man United need to play Casemiro today. Obviously, it's Tottenham, but they also need to take him off around 60 minutes and give him a rest. He's fit enough to play 60 minutes today and 60 minutes on Wednesday. I could do that. All right? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Agree on Brown, a very good player that is still very young and it will be a starter for Germany in the short term. We have to act now because we'll have to pay the double for him after the World Cup. This is precisely what it is. But you know what I think, Tybog? I think that a lot of these clubs around Europe, they know about the World Cup and they're delaying all their transfer activities to after the World Cup. Of course, this could have two effects on those players. They can either perform very well and their price tag elevates, or they perform badly and it remains the same or it goes down. So, yeah, I do believe that a lot of the teams are going to be taking the risk, wait till the World Cup, wait till the World Cup is over. And I think that Nottingham Forest are going to do this. And the reason Nottingham Forest are going to do this, in my opinion, is because if they get relegated, obviously Anderson price will decrease. So this is a counter argument to the decreased price situation. They will wait for Anderson to play in the World Cup. Anderson has a fabulous World Cup. So his price relatively remains at a high level, even though Nottingham Forest have been relegated. Because if he goes to the World Cup and in front of the world stage has a fabulous World Cup, I think Nottingham Forest will be waiting for the World Cup. Wait for the World Cup to happen and to be over, of course. Regarding Euro, I wouldn't sell it if there's a profit. We'll cash in. We shouldn't sell him. Nobody should be leaving Man United apart from Xerxes and the players that are obviously going to be leaving. Absolutely. I want to see hit 4 past Spurs. Absolutely, Eithorn. As long as we don't concede 5, I would love to see 4 smash past Spurs. I think we need to give them one, Eithorn. We need to give them a good hiding today, an absolute slap. That's what we need to do. I agree with Eithorn here. We've been 8 games without beating Tottenham Hotspur, which is, for me, it's embarrassing. Absolutely. Gregory says 3-0. Would take that, my friend. Would take that all day long. We'd lovely if we did that. In Sedi Lamens, we trust. Absolutely. Our goalkeeper for the next 10 years, guys. God willing, of course. We need a proper understudy for Lamens. We got Vitek fan coming in at the end of the season. However, Vitek wants to play first in football. I do believe that Man United are looking at players, looking at goalkeepers at the moment. I spoke about yesterday about Roefs, who plays for Sunderland. Man United are looking at him at the moment. Very talented goalkeeper. However, his price tag is a little bit high. We do need a backup for him. You don't necessarily need a world-class goalkeeper. You need a competent goalkeeper. You need a goalkeeper like Sedi Lamens. That's what you need. You know what I mean? At that similar sort of age and that similar sort of ability. And there's plenty of goalkeepers out there that I look at that Man United can sign that would be good for the backup option. And I would say that would be brilliant. Absolutely. Big up LT. Big up Sal. The midfield and left side needs to be prioritized because we need to move on from the short match day. And we need 3 points today to see things straight with Spurs today, as we've done with others. We need to beat Spurs. No, there's no excuses. Today is all about beating Spurs. Man United need to beat Spurs. Man United need to shut Spurs up because imagine Spurs being our bogey team. I never would have thought it in my life, honestly. Big up, Darren. I hope Bruno retires at United. Probably will, If he stays, I reckon, Darren, if he stays as a number 10 and at Man United next season, I think he'll retire at Man United. I think he'll retire at Man United. Why not? What's the point? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's going to be expensive to replace him. However, there are players out there that I think Man United should be looking at in view of replacing Bruno in the next couple of years. Obviously, Bruno's on the other side of 30. So I would say that, like I mentioned, Kenan Yildiz, who I'm a big fan of. Kenan Yildiz, of course, absolutely generational. There's also Mora, who plays for Porto, brilliant player. We need someone who's going to replace him. Like Morgan Rogers is another one, right? Who we've been looking at as well, but he's obviously more on the left wing and stuff, or the right wing and cutting in and stuff like that. But he's also another player that Man United have been looking at and stuff and scouting. But we do need to look at in the future replacing Bruno Fernandes. We need to look at, he's on the other side of 30 now. We need someone to rotate as well, Like next season, he'd be 31, wouldn't it? 32. So we need to obviously think about replacing him now. And that's what we need to do. Absolutely. Big up Darren, by the way. De Ligt is injured a lot. Maguire will leave. Martinez is struggling with injuries too. So the logic says that owners will sell Euro. This is how stupid and incompetent they are. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Incompetence of the highest order. Absolutely. Selling a player like Lenny Euro, who has great experience now playing in the Premier League. Yes, he's not been at his best, but obviously a young player, especially a defender, is not always going to be playing 100% 10 out of 10s every single week. I think that Lenny Euro will come good. I think that this is his first, it's his second season now. I think by next season, he'll be absolutely a solid. Him and Aiden Heaven. I spoke to a Bayern Munich fan. I think it was before we signed De Ligt. And they were warning me about Mazraoui and De Ligt and saying that they have a very, very big injury record. And they are often on the sidelines more than they're playing. And, the first season of De Ligt and Mazraoui, we didn't have any injuries. Mazraoui's been good. Of course, he had a couple of injuries here and there. But the De Ligt one is very worrying for me because it's not been clarified to anyone what the real problem is. We've heard a back problem and stuff like that. But why is this not being mentioned? Why are we not talking about De Ligt? What's going on with him? Do you know what I mean? It's weird. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. The only reason United didn't opt to extend a contract is to Jim Ratcliffe, the Scrooge. Eithorn, you know what? It wouldn't have been a bad idea if we weren't run by greedy people to keep Casemiro on an experience level and to keep him on the bench and rotate him in the team. I think it would have been really good. The one thing I would like about Casemiro, and I'm going to be honest, guys, I love his enthusiasm. I think he loves the club. I do. When Man United score, the hugs, the this, the power, I love that about Casemiro. Absolutely. And I would have loved him to stay. Obviously, bring in another midfielder so that they can sort of, rotate a little bit, and then you can nurture with Casemiro there. What better midfielder to be nurtured by than Casemiro, a number 6? If you're number 6 up and coming, what a better player to be nurtured by than Casemiro? You know what I mean? So Casemiro, they haven't used this. They haven't thought about this. They thought, money, say 350,000 a week. Yeah, we take that. Which is, for me, that's what they are at the end of the day. They're not interested at the end of the day. We said it here weeks ago about getting the groundwork done. If we are here to rebuild, Anderson has to be our number 1 target. I agree, Benny. Absolutely. We said this. We spoke about you and me, spoke about it. Other people in the community have spoken about this, getting the groundwork done and getting transfers done, even if you have a gentleman's agreement. We've quite obviously done that with Baleba. I do believe that Baleba will be a Man United player. Look, guys, I would be shocked if Carlos Baleba is not a Manchester United player next season. But now we need to concentrate on Anderson, because Anderson is quite obviously the standout candidate in that midfield. Premier League experience. I mean, what the key for me in regards to Anderson, and when I watched him, when he played for England, it's like he's been playing for England for 10 years. That's what it was. It was like he's been playing for England for 10 years. Raja, Ramadan Kareem, 18th of February, 2000. Big up everyone who's going to be celebrating, obviously, Ramadan Kareem, of course, to everyone who'll be celebrating guys. Absolutely. Big up yourselves. Absolutely. Coming very soon. Yoro was a steal. United will almost not get a similar steal anytime soon. I agree with Eithorn here. Look, there's not many great young defenders out there. Like, who signed Jackie? Liverpool, was it? Who signed Jackie? Yeah, Liverpool, I think, signed Jackie. So he's not even on the level of Lenny Yoro. You know what I mean? He's a Timu Lenny Yoro. That's what he is at the end of the day. Mandem, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Large up yourself as well. People, let's get the likes up to a minimum of 50 likes as usual. And please do subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much, Mandem. You're a legend. Really appreciate you. Yes, guys, please get the likes up. Very important. It gets the stream to other people around. Guys, when you hit the likes, look, we got 74 right now. And we've had about 100 in today so far. Guys, if we could just smash a like on the way in, it just takes a little twiddle of the finger. Guys, and then, it helps the channel, it helps the algorithms of YouTube, and it helps the video get to various other destinations. So if you could do that, that'd be absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Mandem. Newcastle fans are really fuming with their current situation. Most of them have accepted that their top stars were moving this summer. There's a lot of issues with that, but that's not public, how it might walk. I'm surprised that Eddie Howe has not been sacked by now. I think that's surprising for me. I'm also surprised, not surprised, that the pressure has nobody is pressurizing Eddie Howe at the moment. Nobody's talking about Eddie Howe at the moment, isn't it? I wonder why that is. Anyway, but yeah, he should have been sacked a long time ago. The problem that Newcastle are having, Newcastle are owned by Saudi Arabia, right? So Newcastle, obviously, FFP and PSR, right? They have to abide by FFP and PSR. Now, the problem that Newcastle are having is that they are not accumulating enough money. They've not got enough money, right? In regards to that. I know you talk about Saudi Arabia, they got money, but Newcastle don't have fans. They have fans in Newcastle. Like, guys, people think I'm bantering. When I lived in England, right? When Newcastle at the heyday, in the mid-90s, early turn of the century, when Newcastle were challenging for titles, I never saw a Newcastle jersey. Newcastle are a big club in Newcastle. The thing is, you could buy a football club for billions. You can't buy popularity. That takes years to build. And how do you build popularity? Simple. Success, right? Even Man City, I've got empty seats at a semi-final, and they've been invested a lot. Now, unless they manipulate the books like Man City do, or, they become very, very successful, they're not going to accumulate enough money to help with their FFP and PSR. So as much as they got these Saudi owners, rather frustratingly, they can't build their team. They can't spend the money as they would want to, which is good for us, of course. If Saudi had Man United, however, Man United accumulate enough money themselves. Man United make billions, a year. So at the end of the day, it's a completely different situation, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, Man United could be 1.2 billion in debt, but still to spend 200 million in the summer on transfers. Now, imagine we didn't have that debt. Imagine we had all the transfers that we owe money for, paid for and stuff. Imagine that would happen. I mean, imagine we had that ownership. We're killing it. You know, that's why no one wants us to be bought by Middle East, and the people who don't support Man United don't want us to be purchased by the Middle East. The so-called big three midfielders we are pursuing, Anderson, Wharton, and Baleba, are also being dogged by other 6 clubs. Yes, Gregory, there's no guarantee that we will sign those 3 players. Baleba is not being tracked by anyone. I would say that, Gregory, at the moment. Baleba's, I think, is already agreed a pre-agreement with Manchester United. Baleba is not interested. No club is interested in Baleba at the moment. There was interest in Bayern Munich many months ago before this season started, but a lot of teams have walked away because obviously his performances haven't been up to scratch. But Man United are going to sign Baleba, in my opinion. However, in regards to Anderson and Wharton, those players are going to be wanted and earmarked by a number of players. Wharton's already been scouted by Real Madrid, you know, so those players are going to be interested by a lot of clubs. Of course they are. However, I would also put into Manchester United's favour, Manchester United in the Champions League are a very attractive proposition. Manchester United in the Champions League. The only downside to this, and we spoke about it yesterday, I think one of the only downsides to this is the manager. Would a player want to come to Manchester United if Michael Carrick is the full-time manager? Would you want to? You know? There's a lot of ins and outs in regards to it, you know, or would they want to go to Man City with Pep, you know, at the end of the day? I think Pep's staying, by the way. Tybug, never thought Watermaida would be such an instant success. Yeah, to be honest, he seemed like a Bambi on ice. I'm surprised he's doing so well. A fair play to him. He's done well. Absolutely. You know, a fair play to him. Absolutely. Very, very good player. Good finisher as well. He's got a finesse touch for his size, you know. Guys, morning, Sal, my brother. Big up, Marcus. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Gregory, speaking of German football, Anderson will be playing for either Real Madrid or Barcelona in a couple of seasons, unless United acquire him. Still, it's just as that good. Write that down. I already know that. Gregory, you don't need to tell me that. I mean, we've been speaking in the community, been speaking about Angelo Stiller for like 6 months. I've lost count how many times I put Angelo Stiller on my thumbnail. Yeah, he's wanted by Real Madrid. He's wanted by a number of clubs. He's already said he wants to go to Real Madrid about 4 months ago, Gregory. Absolutely, yeah. So don't need to write it down, Gregory. It's already in my head. I know, mate. And the community know as well. Big up, Gregory, though. Absolutely. Yeah, very good player. Metal, Sal, the Glazers are going to destroy another fan favorite team. Yeah, let them. People get more enemies on them. Sal, you come to Germany and you will go to a game in your own track. Frankfurt, lots of English fans lately, so you won't feel lonely. Big up, Tybog. I would love to. I would do, mate. I would absolutely. That'd be absolutely 100. I'm due a visit to Germany, of course. I am due a visit to Germany, and I would love to. And I would let you know definitely when I go there. Yeah, definitely. Be great. Be a great crack, mate. I would love to see a German game. That'd be amazing, especially Frankfurt. Big club, man. Frankfurt's a good city as well. Frankfurt, my wife lived in Frankfurt for a little while. So I wouldn't mind visiting there. She did like it. The new tent, Sal. Come on, absolutely. Mandem, if we got the likes of Cunha and Bremo and Sesko without Champions League, imagine how the players will get when we qualify for exactly that. As we will be in the top 4 competitions, need a good squad. Yeah, and we need to take advantage of this situation in regards to Man United, because this attraction would not last. It's not going to last forever. So Man United need to start qualify for the Champions League, definitely, and start being more successful, because this attraction that we have for Man United will not be something that's going to last forever, because of generations won't remember a successful Man United, of course. They invest a lot of money in cricket, continue destroying United, and the fans will still watch it and silence. I really can't understand all this sometimes. The Man United fans, myself, I'll be honest with you, are a soft touch. We spoke about this last week about Man United being a soft touch. And I spoke about someone who knew about it, who came on the channel and was speaking about it. It's very interesting to hear his points of view. Yeah, a lot of the fans nowadays are only interested in their season tickets. They're not interested in anything else. They're interested in the price of the season ticket, which is fair enough. But I see the focus on only the season ticket prices, but not getting the Glazers and Ineos out of the football club. Like, get them out, because it's not only that, it's about transfers for the football club as well. It's not just about your own personal greed. You want to go to games and stuff like that. It's also about the future of the football club and getting these people out, transfers coming into the football club and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And investing all round in the football club, of course. Absolutely. Gregory, why don't they just pay down the debt, the cheap Glazers? Because they don't want to, mate. They don't want to. They're making... They're not paying. They're not paying anything from their own pocket for the debt. The debt is not being paid off. they're using the club's profits to pay the debt, basically. So they're not paying anything. So why would they? That is exactly why that is, and why Ineos wouldn't pay off the debt. It's an Indian club which is more popular. It is an Indian club which is more popular. Oh, okay. So why would they want to buy an Indian club for £1 billion, right? When they can invest that billion in Manchester United Football Club? I couldn't care less about a bunch of cholesterol-ridden cricketers playing. I couldn't care less about it, to be honest with you. I couldn't care less about cricket. Cricket's boring. And I think if they go out and buy a cricket team, rather than investing on Man United football pitch, I'd be like, I've already given up with them. I mean, the double give up. How can you double give up? Why is there no place for forcing the owners out of the club to pay down their debts? That needs to be done by the government, Gregory. If you got a loan out and you didn't pay your loan and you only paid the interest on the loan, the bank will chase you, wouldn't they? They'll say, after a few years, they'll say, why aren't you paying down the loan? Why aren't you paying the capital on the loan? The Glazers purchased this club for 500 million in 2005. The debt is now 1.2 billion. And this is what we're talking about. The government need to get hold of the Glazers, just like they got hold of Abramovich at Chelsea, political things and stuff like that. And they need to tell them, you either sell the football club or pay off your debt. And if the government did that, then obviously the Glazers would sell, Now, the Glazers and Ineos, they're looking to acquire this land and looking for the taxpayers to pay this land so that they could benefit from it, So basically, they're trying to manipulate the government and the taxpayer to purchase this land so that the Glazers and Ineos can own that land and can own the stadium. Just like Man City owned their stadium from the Olympics. UK, Darren, my guy. Glazers shouldn't be allowed to buy a cricket team with their debt. They shouldn't be allowed to do anything. They shouldn't be allowed to acquire land in Manchester. The logical thing for the government to do is look at the Glazers and look at what the Glazers are doing and look at how much debt they've got in England. How much debt they put on Manchester United. Absolutely. Ugarte does not belong in the Premier League, much less on the pitch for Manchester United. He's just not got that ability, I think, when he comes on the pitch. Every time he comes on the pitch, Gregory, we don't improve. We actually get worse. And it's worrying, precisely why we said we needed to, even if we got a Conor Gallagher on loan, this is exactly why I said Man United should get a Conor Gallagher, Ruben Neves on loan even, because this problem, and this is a problem that we're going to face. This 10 days right here, in regards to Tottenham today, West Ham in the week, and then Crystal Palace, I think we've got at home. Very testful week in regards to Casemiro. I know that. It's going to be a very testing week. We have to rotate him as effectively as we possibly can. And I hope that he doesn't get injured, because if Casemiro does get injured, guys, listen, forget about it. We're going to tumble like a tumble of bricks, guys. And my prediction about second place, forget about it. Absolutely. Marcus, dang, Sal, you said the boogeyman name, Ugarte. Please keep that man on the bench. Bring on I don't hate him, Marcus. I wouldn't say that. I would never slander a play like that, Marcus. That's not my style. He plays for Manchester United, and I'm backing him until the end of the season. I think of these things as unfortunate because I rated him. He had the best ball recovery record in Europe with PSG, was fabulous at Sporting Lisbon as well. I just think that sometimes it doesn't work out. However, right now, he's a Man United player. So we're going to need him. So we need to boost his confidence, even though he may not be good enough. And we know that, I know, but at the end of the day, there's no point us laying in on him. We might support him and just hopefully he captures some of that form that he had at PSG, hopefully. Because if Casemiro gets injured, we're going to need Ugarte. We're going to need Ugarte in this football team. We're going to need him 100%. Big up, Marcus, though. Mandem, a full sale only was what we needed, absolutely. But many Man United fans preferred being owned by a Brit. Understands United, doesn't understand nothing. Nonsensical agendas got us to where we are. Kim. Yeah, Mandem, people may think that the people who supported Ineos at the time didn't affect anything, but they gave Ineos a boost. They gave Jim Ratcliffe a little boost. They gave him the confidence to go out there and buy him. They were rejected by Chelsea. And another thing, he was rejected by Chelsea. Chelsea rejected Jim Ratcliffe. There you go, Chelsea. Now, why would he go out there and try and purchase Chelsea? Is it because he's a Chelsea season ticket holder? Is it because he's a Chelsea fan? And why does he keep copying everything that Chelsea do? Why are we always linked to Chelsea players? This is exactly what it is. He's a Chelsea fan. He's not even a football fan, but if he was to choose a team, he would say Chelsea. I guarantee you. He's looking at Man United, and you know what raised his eyebrows, his hairy eyebrows? You know what raised it? Is the regeneration project. He looked at Man United, right? He don't support Man United. He don't love Man United. Look at it when he walked into Old Trafford when he was about to purchase the club on his vanity project. He looked like he just swallowed a lemon, right? So let's just look at this, right? He looked at the club and he looked at that regeneration project and he thought about Ineos and he thought about the money that they could possibly make from that regeneration project. He went to bed with the Glazers, slept with the Glazers, gave a vanity project, a percentage ownership, partly ownership that nobody would do, by the way, because it's a crazy offer. And he looking forward to that regeneration project. That's all he cares about. And those people who facilitated him, you've already been proven wrong. And it's not about me being right or wrong, but I've had people come on my streams, on my Twitter and stuff, saying, when you're going to apologize to Jim Ratcliffe, you're wrong about him. And I'm saying, hold on, hold your horses, calm your tits. I'm like this, right? I say, what do you mean? What's he done for me to apologize? And what are you guys on? Are you absolutely having a laugh? I mean, goodness, he should be apologizing to me. Absolutely, because we did say it, guys. Eithorn, I actually feel sorry for Ugarte. He's like the odd man out in the squad. I noticed when the players celebrate a goal, maybe it's time team move proved anger. I just think, sometimes, when you come to a club like Man United, I think you have to hit the ground running. You really have to start performing. And then it's like a domino effect. You start getting good and better and better and better. I just think he has never took off. And I think that now we're just cashing on him. I think in the summer we will cash in on him, but he has to be replaced. Big up Anfield the Red. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed, of course. Big up Garrett. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Big up Sal. Hope you're all right. 3-1 to United. Nothing but a win. Absolutely agree with that. Kenny, hope Ugarte steps up like now he performed against Newcastle. Yeah. We need that type of Kenny. Absolutely. We need that type of Ugarte, definitely. Don't talk buy and sell. I know, mate. I know. I remember. Big up, Tyborg, of course. Big up. Absolutely. Big up everyone in the stream, of course, guys. You're absolute legends. Now, guys, thank you so much, guys. Guys, can I just say, please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Guys, we need to get up to 50 likes on these Breaking Dawns, minimum, and then we go from there. Thank you, everyone who continues to support the channel. I will be here 12 p.m. UK time for the watch along, guys. The big game against Spurs. I'll be here 12 p.m. UK time. Right, guys, join me there. It'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to send you the link to the match later on, guys, so that you guys join me for that match, guys. Very important you join me for the watch along, guys. If you can do that for me, I need your support for the watch along, guys. We need your good energy. That's what we need, guys. We need your good energy. I need support, absolutely, guys. So if you guys could do that, I'm gonna pull it up right now. So I'm gonna give you the link right now, guys, to the stream. Hold tight, guys. Hold tight. I'm gonna give you it. Let's see this. We're gonna win today, guys. That is what it's all about, of course, guys. Absolutely. Where were we? Details, customization. There we go. And we're going to add that to my game later on. Is it that one? No, that's not the one. Edit that. That one. There we go. Absolutely. There you go, guys. Join me for that. I've sent you the link to that game, guys. So join me for the game later on against Spurs, guys. Thank you, everyone, for your magnificent support on the channel. Absolutely. Big up the members, guys. Big up Tyborg, of course. Big up Benny, of course, as well. You're absolute legends, guys. Thank you very, very much, guys. I really appreciate you all, guys. Absolutely. Absolute legends, of course. Glory go Man United all day, every day. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. And I will see you later on for the big game. Take it easy and see you then. Peace.